Hello, my gorgeous people. It is Grace here by Cadonia, and I am on my way to see some caves in Kampot in southern Cambodia. For the geographically interested among us, here is a map. You can see the entirety of Cambodia, and there I am right far down in the south, right next to the sea, and also right next to Vietnam. You can also see from this map how, unlike Thailand to the left and Vietnam to the right, Cambodia is not festooned in major roads. Instead, Cambodia is festooned in red and yellow clay roads like the one I'm riding today. In sunny weather with a 690 Enduro, this is happiness itself. Now, I guess these roads would not be so much fun if it was raining or if you were in a car or on a small scooter, but on the 690 Enduro, I am as happy as a pig in the proverbial. Now, I've never been here before, so what I'm doing for navigation is I've got my smartphone on the handlebars there and I'm using maps.me as my offline navigation. In order to stay off the highways, I set it to walking mode. And that way I find myself on some very scenic routes. I find myself well off the highways, and I sometimes even find myself on the single track. It's obviously more fun to ride with the locals, but on the days when they are busy with their real jobs and their real life responsibilities, Maps.me set to walking mode makes a decent substitute. So here I am, the sun is shining, I am flying along on the red dirt back roads, and it is on a road like this where I have my first confirmed encounter with an unhappy cobra. Yes, the giant snake that I see sliding across the road in front of me turns out to be none other than a king cobra, and it flattens its head and rears up from the ground as I come towards it. I have to tell you, I have seen many poisonous snakes in my time, having grown up in Australia, but there's something about when a cobra flattens its head at you and rears up off the ground 1.5, almost 2 feet. There's something about that that makes your blood run cold. Anyway, as you can imagine, I nailed the throttle and got out of there quick smart. Although I know the proper first aid for a snake bite, I absolutely did not fancy trying to explain in Khmer how I'd been bitten by a cobra, whilst simultaneously suffering the effects of having been bitten by said cobra. Anyway, all's well that ends well. I don't get bitten by the cobra or by that enthusiastic dog that you just saw run out to nip at my ankles. The dog doesn't worry me much in my motocross boots, and I've had my rabies shots, so we're all good. There's nothing for it but to open the throttle and head for the caves. On an unrelated note, look how I am using my RAM mount to hold my smartphone here. And specifically, look at how I have forgotten to use the rubber tether over the corners of the phone. This is a very foolish thing to do. Trust me, I have crash tested this several times, and the verdict is you can crash as much as you like as long as you use the rubber tether. Your phone will be safe and sound, but as soon as you crash without the rubber tether, then your phone's going to go flying through the air. One solution to this problem is don't crash. The other, more realistic solution, at least for me, is to always use the rubber tether. Now, my first destination is not the main cave system, which is usually frequented by tourists. It's a small cave filled with water on the other side of the mountain, and the water here is so clear, it's unbelievable. It's also wonderfully cool. After the sweltering day outside, this little grotto is a cool, refreshing oasis away from the sweltering sun. There you go, water so clear you can't even estimate its depth. Now, the local Khmer people tend to consider water which has seeped through the mountain like this has as a kind of holy water. To swim in it or to put it on your head or on your face is to bring good luck. And it's even more fitting that I should bathe in the holy water the day before the Khmer New Year. Yes, today is Khmer New Year's Eve, and many Khmer people have made the pilgrimage to the cave system on the other side of the mountains to make offerings and receive blessings and good luck for the year to come. For a while, I bathe in complete silence and privacy. There is not even the flicker of a bat overhead. The water is surprisingly luminous and welcoming, unlike the dark, frightening abyss that you'd expect from swimming in a cave. Later, I am joined by a Khmer family who have come to swim and cool off as well. I dig through my brain and I come up with the word for cold, trotchiet, which is the only relevant thing I can think to say. The water is indeed cold. Soon the place is taken over by frolicking and splashing children. When I get cold and my fingers and toes have gone pruny, then I get out of the water and I put all my motocross gear back on again. Time to explore the rest of the caves. This means climbing tiny paths up the face of the cliffs in order to disappear inside the mouths of these looming limestone caverns. I have seen more impressive and more untouched formations in my time, but there's something about these caverns which is curiously alluring. Just like the water cave, they seem to be filled with more light than I would ever have expected. Again, I am left to explore in solitude. Standing on the cliffs, looking out at the flat fields surrounding these great limestone and basalt outcrops, I am reminded of Vietnam, and then I realized that's probably because Vietnam is just over there. We are really close. After my cave swim, I am surprised to find myself extremely hungry and extremely sleepy. So I go off and I find a good-looking restaurant, but after much tortuous backwards and forwards as I try to order food in Khmer, I discover that it's really not the kind of restaurant you go to on your own. Normally, all that they serve are big pots of various kinds of shared soups. The problem is solved when I end up joining a table of 3 young men from Phnom Penh, 2 French teachers, and 1 soccer coach, who very kindly welcome me to their party, and so I don't eat alone. Afterwards I go and tour the main cave system, but it's nowhere near as special as that deserted water cave on the other side of the mountain. The thing that I like the most about the main cave system is that all of the air smells so deeply of incense. Years, decades, maybe centuries of incense from all of the shrines set up inside the caves. Ultimately, though, it's pretty touristy, although I have to admit that there are more vendors there than there are tourists. My guide tells me that there will be more people coming down from Phnom Penh to seek blessings for the new year. I am already lucky, though. I have my dirt bike waiting for me, and soon I am back to tearing along the back roads in rural Cambodia. The sun is shining, I haven't been gotten by the giant cobra, and everything is great. And so I wish you a happy Khmer New Year. I am pleasantly exhausted from the last couple of days out on the tracks, even though I haven't done anything too wild. Clearly, I need to work on my bike fitness, and what a pleasure of a task that is going to be. Take it easy, stay safe, ride your motorbike, and I will catch you later.